Okay, could you then put your name at the chat room for me, your full name? That's fine. So I hope you're doing fine. Today we going to look into LO2. We had a wonderful lecture yesterday with LO1 where we looked into the aspect of operations management related to the core functions within organizations and how these functions or various divisions within organizations collaborate to impact organization structure or organizational success. It was very important that we take key notes of the various impacts each functions play and the compliance aspect of what organizations play to have some kind of competitive advantage over their competitors. So today we are going to look into LO2 where we are going to look at the importance of the operations management in achieving effective organizational performance. And where those importance may, as we all know, when the functions collaborate effectively, it increases values in operation management. The quality, we all know, quality customer satisfactions are all met. There may be challenges also that may confront those organizations, okay? Some may be the post-pandemic world on supply chain. We had COVID-19 at one time and many others. Maybe other factors in terms of pricing or the regime in the area where they operate in, when there are issues with wars and instability, it will definitely affect the organization, So these are things that we are going to look into today and look at how those can be addressed. Okay, all right. So let's crack on LO2. So we have to LO2 basically be this, explain the importance of the surprise operations management in achieving. So we are going to look into the challenges and also apart from the importance, we look at the challenges which may be targeted at the importance in terms of cost-based competition, increased customer expectations, globalization, social environmental issues, it may even be regime issues, partnership relationships, and reputation management. Where we talk about reputation management, it has to do with branding and all that. Okay. Now we will look into what we call the triple bottom line, the TBL, the 3BL, and its sustainability, then strategic impact, including achieving objectives of revenue, and then also look into emerging digital technologies. We spoke about the IT functions yesterday or the technology function. And therefore, it is important that technological part of the organization is on top tier level. There should be different softwares to update. You don't keep your outmoded software the same way. There should be different softwares available to update those outmoded stuffs, And these softwares should also comply with regulations, CRM, customer relation management systems, enterprise resource planning, ERP, all these are things that you need to look into on the aspect of supply chain. Okay, so when you have to produce something and supply, there are various IT or technological softwares that you need to have in place. One of those are the ERPs and the SCMs and the CRM. Very important, okay? So operation management is indeed an integral part of organizations, which we know when properly managed or executed, it will give direct influence to meet customer requirements. However, this part of its success is that it will choke. There will be challenges. There will be challenges. Every success will have some bit of challenges, and those challenges need to be managed. It must even include some of the risk management that the organization would have to look into. So one of this will be varying customer demands. Okay, once you are into applying a product, you definitely have variations and various demands from customers. Okay, one of those primary challenges is the direct nature of customer demand. Consumer preferences can change rapidly, and different customer segments may have varying expectations. This requires operations to remain flexible and adaptive. Very important, and that you can refer to Stevenson 2021. A customer whose demands may be 6 months may not be the same demands probably in the next 2 months. Okay, so there are variations over time with customers' demands or customer demands. And every customer may have his own expectation and what they seek to do. While some may even look at pricing, others may look at quality. Okay, others may look at delivery, the delivering time, very important to them. Okay, others may even look at how quick you respond to them when they raise concerns. So there are different varying customer demands, and an organization who want to stand the test of time or who want to expand in reputation, then you need to be quite flexible and adaptive to receive all customer demands and adapt to it, and change. Gradually put reforms in place within organizations to meet up these customer expectations. Okay. So there should be then a strike between balance costs and quality. Okay. There should be some balance cost and quality. Well, customers demand high quality products and services. Operational costs must be controlled to maintain competitiveness. So it's all about competitiveness. So you should be able to keep operational costs in place to receive competitiveness. Very important. That should be done to ensure this is in place. Okay. Operations must strike a delicate balance between cost and quality. While customers demand high quality products and services, operational costs must be controlled. It must be controlled to maintain competitiveness. So you ensuring that your operational costs, and when we say operational costs, it stems from that the monies, the cost of expenses, okay, are no more than your profit. So you have to make sure that there's a balance between those and the profit. So your expenses should be quite low and your profit margin should be quite high. So you have to control that. And once you're able to have less expenses, you are able then to sort of factor in your pricing. So you control the price. You don't make your price quite expensive, okay, but quite normal. So you can get quite normal people coming to you. Okay, that's what you mean. So, and that you can find from Azer and Render 2021. Okay, all right. Supply chain disruptions. Indeed, there are quite a number of distractions that may come a person's way. Okay, there are quite a number of them that may come to a person's way. So disruptions in supply chain, such as shortages, delays, unforeseen stuffs, are events like natural disasters and all that. Very important. Our global crisis can significantly impact operations. These disruptions can either hinder our ability to meet customer requirements in terms of timely delivery and product availability. And Jacobs and Chase 2018. Jacobs and Chase 2018 plays a major role, a major reference point that you can look into. Very important. Very, very important. Disruptions, it may even be power shortages, okay? Power shortages. That may be a disruption for same thing, okay? Heavy rain, COVID-19, global crisis, these are all things that may be what we call act of God. They may occur as no fault to the organization, but it still have an impact in either the delivery of raw materials or delivery of items to your customer, and the time expected to deliver it may even have some defects on the product and all that. So these are things that we need to look into. Then technological adaptation. The fast-paced evolution of technology can present both opportunities and challenges. That's true. While technology can enhance operations and meet customer expectations, staying updated with the latest technological advancements and integrating them effectively can be the daunting task, okay? So technology evolve, okay? So it's quite involving. I mean, having spent a lot of money to buy a software for your organization, whether ERP or CRM, or SAM software, quite expensive. Over time, you may have issue with viruses, you may have issues after a year, which is outdated, and you ought to be up to date and to buy new softwares, advanced ones to meet up the changes in technology. And this can be very involving. And these are some of the things that you need to look into in terms of adapting to those things as well, those technology as well, and even making sure you have the right HR staff or the right IT persons who are trained, or you need to engage or create an enabling environment that those IT people need to be trained on that particular software. So it's quite doubting and involving. All right. Kate, do you have any question, please?
No questions for now.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Then let's look at the workforce and skills training. Workforce and skills training. Maintaining a skilled and adaptable workforce is essential to customer requirements. Workforce challenges include ensuring employees possess the necessary skills. It's very involving. And that is why yesterday we looked into the HR department or HR analysts. The HR analysts play a very integral role in organizations because without the HR analyst or the HR department, you won't have the right staffs or workforce for your organizations. And when you don't have the right workforce for organizations, then you won't meet up the expected demands from your customers. So you need the right people at the right time and for the right job. Very, very important. And so workforce challenges include employee possessing the necessary skills and providing the ongoing training that they need. Ongoing training that they need. Very, very important. Ongoing training that they need. Just well, the ongoing training that they involve. Very, very, very important. So trainings like what? Trainings maybe some may be the IT trainings, some may be the corporations department trainings and all that. And so the HR department would always identify, shortfalls, training gaps within the organizations, those that need to upgrade, what trainings were given to them 2 years ago, and are they updates or are they, in tandem with the company goals and visions, what trainings needs to be done, what workshop needs to be done along the line to meet up changes in management policies and management goals and all that. So these are things that the HR department deals with, the workforce and training, very important. They need to have the relevant skills, whether IT skills, the relevant training, the relevant qualification. The HR department will have to go in through their records every now and then. And even in terms of their IDs and all that, do they have the right to work in the UK or in Ghana or whatever? If their expertise, do they have the right immigration formalities in place? So these are things that the HR will have to look into. Okay, HR will have to look into. And this you can refer from Desley 2019, which you have beyond student model. Then you have to look at what may be the constraints and budget limitations. Okay, there may be cost constraints. Operations are often constrained by budget limitations. Very important. We spoke about it yesterday. These constraints can limit investments in equipment, technology, and human resources, impacting the ability to meet customer requirements effectively. Okay, so yes, indeed, constraints may happen in terms of budget allocations, and this constraint may limit investment in equipment. Of course, when you have limited budget available, you're not able to meet up the kind of equipment that you intend to buy or technology that you intend to advance or update, or the human resource capacity, because you don't have what it takes to be able to sort of employ the right staffs or expertise for certain jobs, and this in the long run may feed into the customer, requirements effectively. Okay. So because once you have the right people, the right truck drivers, the right delivery person, the right IT, it meets customer requirements effectively. Okay. Okay. So this you can also refer to calling an Evans 2020. Then globalization and market expansion. Expanding into global markets introduce logical complexities, regulatory challenges, and cultural differences. Managing operations in a global context necessitates international operation management strategies. Very important. I did mention that. I mean, if you operate from a local standpoint, a local kind of environment, it has its own regulations and frameworks and policies that you you made. But then when you decide to venture into international markets and all that, then you need to adjust your um, internal legal policies, and so you can meet up with international standards. You may have to do with your ISO international standardized organizations, where ISO 2001, where you have to meet with quality matrices and all that internationally, your company brand and reputation. So these are global markets that you need to ensure that you are meeting up with, the various regulation challenges, the cultural differences that you may have, even the time frames and all that, you might sometimes need to employ some lawyers in those those international areas to advise you or to help in your and you need to have a branch there as well. They are indigenous. You need to find out the processes, indigenous people that need to be part of your directorship and all that. So these are things that you need to look into in terms of global and market expansion when you intend to expand to other countries and environments. Okay. And Slack and all, you can get that to environmental sustainability. There are environmental policies that you need to also. There are ISO organizations that you need to adhere to, and because aligning operation with environmental sustainability goals and regulation is a modern challenge. Meeting customer requirements now often includes providing eco-friendly products and services, which may require sustainable operational changes. Okay, so meeting customer requirements now often includes providing eco-friendly. I mean, the world is going towards a green world, and everything that we do must be eco-friendly. So, in fact, the product that you use, the packaging and all that should be eco-friendly. Okay, everything that you do, if you run a business which is a manufacturing area that involves packaging of product, those packaging stuff should be eco-friendly. Okay, in fact, you need to also have environmental policies in place, okay, that states that you won't pollute the environment, okay, and those policies must feed into your various operational developments, okay. So these are very key, and if it's a service department, you have to make sure that your internal preparing things that you do and service oriented should be eco-friendly, okay. Whatever you produce should be eco-friendly. You don't want to do things that will pollute the environment as a result of your production or as a result of what you deliver. If it's some visit papers that you produce, anything that you do should be eco-friendly. Okay, should be, and that is very important. So it's able to meet customer requirements, and it provides eco-friendly product and service which may require sustainable operational changes. Okay. So these changes are key. Once you need to be eco-friendly, then you need to have regular changes to meet up these environmental changes. Okay. Complex regulatory compliance. Navigating complex and evolving regulatory frameworks, both domestically and internationally, is a significant challenge. Non-compliance can lead to legal issues and damage customer satisfactions. Okay. Navigating complex and involving regulatory frameworks, both domestically and internationally, is a significant challenge. Non-compliance can lead to legal issues and damage customer satisfaction. Very important. So you have to be very compliant to legal issues. I've just mentioned whether internal legal issues or external legal issues, you need to meet up with. Okay. And SLAC and R 2020 talks about that. What may be the cultural and language barrier issues? Very important. Obviously, if you're operating in a local environment, you may have, and then if you're going international, so you may have cultural barrier differences of organizations creating in diverse cultural contents. Managing operations across cultural and language barriers is a complex challenge. Understanding and bridging cultural and language differences are essential for effectively meeting customer requirements in global markets. Very, very important. Understanding and bridging cultural and language differences are essential for effectively meeting customer requirements in global markets. Very important. So you need to adapt, to cultural and language barriers, which becomes a complex challenge. You need to therefore navigate around it. You need to understand and then come out with some bridging cultural and language differences to be able to meet up with that. Very important. Okay. So oftentimes some employers may even employ some kind of staffs within the organization to look into, or the marketing department, you have to employ somebody who speaks that kind of language within that territory. Okay, that's fine. So in conclusion, today, operation management plays a critical role, as we have said, in meeting customer requirements, but it's not without its challenges. We have to then adapt to changing customer demands, maintaining quality, managing supply disruptions. We've said about that, to address outmoded technological issues. Additionally, we have to look at globalization, environmental sustainability, regulatory compliance, cultural diversity, and present contemporary challenges. Okay, so one of these environmental we need to look into, so you have to look into ISO 14001. ISO 14001 when it comes to environmental. ISO 14001, one of the things that you have to look into. I'm putting on the ISO 14001. I'm putting it down there. Environmental, 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 environmental management, management system. Okay, so I'm putting this. These are some of the things that you need to know. You have to meet that when it comes to ISO 14001. Okay, so one of the environmental ISO organization that most companies need to know or have in place. Okay. Then we have to compare how different organizations measure operations performance and their effectiveness. Okay. Measuring operations performance is vital for organizations to assess their efficiency and effectiveness. However, different organizations may adapt various methods and metrics to evaluate those performances. This presentation compares how different organizations measure operations performance and their effectiveness in doing so. Well, we have KPIs, the key performance indicators. Key performance indicators. Manufacturing company, key performance indicators. Manufacturing company, let's discuss how a manufacturing company primarily focuses on traditional KPIs such as productivity, production costs, and defect rates. You need to know how would a company focus on production itself, then the production costs and defect rates. You have to then explain how these KPIs enable them to measure and enhance their production processes, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. Okay. So we have then e-commerce retailer. Highlight how e-commerce retailer B places more emphasis on KPIs related to order fulfillment and customer satisfaction, such as on-time delivery, order accuracy, and customer reviews. Okay. You should be able to highlight how the e-commerce retailer B places more emphasis on the KPIs, which is the production costs or the production sub and the defense rates. Okay, so on-time delivery, order accuracy, and customer reviews. Order accuracy, when you are ensuring that the orders that you are issuing out there is meeting the customer demand without no error. Okay, You have to discuss how these customer-centric KPIs contribute to their effectiveness in meeting customer requirements and driving repeat business. Okay, repeat business. It means loyalty. Okay, repeat business. So make sure that you are meeting customer accuracy and there are no defects. You have feedback and taking serious of the customer reviews. Okay. So then they increase business and drives repeat business. Very important. The quality metrics. So let's take a pharmaceutical company. Describe how pharmaceutical companies C relies on quality metrics like bath rejection rates, adherence to good manufacturing practices, and product recall rates. Discuss how these quality metrics ensure the safety and efficacy of their products, thus maintaining compliance and reputation. Discuss how these quality metrics ensure the safety and efficacy of these products, thus maintaining compliance and reputation. Okay, so quality metrics, you have quality control, quality monitoring, and all that. And this should be geared towards the safety and efficacy of these products, thus maintaining compliance and reputation. Hospitality chain. You have to then explain how hospitality chain D measures quality using guest satisfaction surveys, service response times, and room cleanliness scores. Discuss the importance of these customer-centric quality metrics in ensuring guest satisfaction and loyalty. Okay, so where hospitality chain D measures quality using guest satisfaction surveys, service response times, and room cleanliness stores. Okay, it all gears towards the reviews, the feedbacks that you receive. You need to enact it. The feedbacks that you receive, you need to put them into action. Okay, so if it's hospitality, they have to do it. More of the food that is given, the cleanliness of the place, top notch. There's no dirt. Okay, those things. There is service response times. You know how the services are delivered in reasonable time. These are all things that you need to consider. Okay, and then it fits into the quality and satisfaction of the customer, which then enhances loyalty for your organization. And if it's a technology firm, you have to look up the sustainability and environmental metrics. Discuss how technology firm E metrics related to environmental sustainability, such as carbon footprint reduction, waste maximization, and use of renewable energy. Explain how this focus on sustainability aligns with their corporate social responsibility goals. Very important. Corporate social responsibility goals. Corporate CSRG. Corporate social responsibility goals. Corporate social responsibility goals. Okay, explain how their focus on sustainability aligns with their corporate social responsibility goals. Automobile manufacturer. Highlight how automobile manufacturer F emphasis reducing emissions, waste cycling, and water conservation as key environmental performance metrics. Okay, waste cycling, water conservation, and key environmental performance metrics. Explain how these metrics help them to meet stringent environmental regulations and appeal to environmental conscious consumers. So they are customers who are very concerned about environment. They want to know how you dispose of your waste products. They are concerned. They're not just buying, but they want to know how you deal with your waste product, how your organization, how your corporate social responsibility towards pollution and all that. So you need to have, you know, As automotive, you have a lot of things, gas that may go out, emissions of your pollution. So they want to know how you reduce waste, how you do your lean products, your Six Sigma products, how you go about it and all that. Your waste production, that your waste, you turn your waste into something profitable and all that. They are very concerned about that. So there should be a metrics in place to meet these environmental regulations so it can appeal to your customers who are concerned about the environment. Financial metrics. If it's a financial institution, then we should be able to explain how the financial institution gene relies heavily on financial metrics, such as return on assets, cost benefit analysis, net interest margins, cost to income ratio, or to assess profitability. Very important. Okay. Very, very important. Your return on assets, net interest margins, and cost to income ratio to assess profitability. Discuss how these metrics help make informed financial decisions and evaluate the overall performance. Discuss how these metrics help them make informed financial decisions and evaluate those. It's very important. You should be able to look at your return on assets. What are the returns you are gaining from the assets of your business? Are you having enough interest margins or less interest margin? What are the cost to income ratio? Okay, the income that is coming, is the cost exceeding the income coming, or is the income giving a much margins over the cost? Then you have to assess your profits. It's very important. Okay, very, very important as a financial institution. Discuss how these metrics help make informed. So it again gives you informed decision and to evaluate your overall performance. As to your return on assets, your interest margin, it would fit into your overall performance over the year to know whether the company is on a progressive stage or retrogressing stage. Okay. Non-profit organization. Describe how a non-profit organization uses metrics like donation to administrative expense ratio and grant utilization to evaluate their financial efficiency. Explain how these financial metrics ensure donor trust and effective resource allocation for their charitable activities. Explain how these financial metrics ensure donor trust and effective resource allocation for their charitable activities. Okay. Explain how these financial metrics ensure donor trust and effective resource allocation for the charity are very, very important. So if it's an NGO, there should be metrics in place to determine the donation to administrative expenses ratio. What are the donation to administrative and grant utilization to evaluate their financial efficiency? So you need to look at your expenses per the donation that is coming. And you have to explain how these financial metrics ensure donor trust and effective resource. Lawyers, what me from what? Okay. Then you have to look at customer feedback and surveys. Online marketplace. Okay. If that's what you operate in, Amazon and all that. Explain how online marketplace conduct customer feedback surveys. It could be through pilot, seller performance ratings, and reviews to gauge customer satisfaction and seller effectiveness. Customer satisfactions and seller effectiveness. Customer satisfaction and seller effectiveness. Describe the role of real-time customer feedback in improving operations and seller quality. Discuss the role of real-time customer feedback in improving operations and seller quality. Very important. Very, very, very important. So, the online marketplace conduct customer feedback surveys, seller performance ratings, and reviews to gauge customer satisfaction and seller. And Amazon does that a lot. And most organizations do that as well. Facebook markets and all that. They have even pilot After buying something online, you normally have a survey or review that you need to give feedback to the performance that you have done. Very important. Global restaurant chain highlights how global restaurant chain J collects customer feedbacks through satisfaction surveys and social media sentiment analysis. Okay, social media sentiment analysis. So if you're operating a global like Uber Eats and all that, you should have regular satisfaction surveys, and then you should also have social media sentiment analysis. Explain how this continual feedback loop enables them to adapt to menus and serve based on customer preferences. Explain how this continuous feedback loop enables to adapt their menus and serve based customer preferences. Okay. In conclusion, different organizations adopt distinct performance measurement approaches based on their industry objectives. That's true. A restaurant organization may have different objectives from a manufacturing, and the customer focus may be different. While some rely on traditional operational and financial metrics, others prioritize quality, sustainability, and customer feedback to assess their effectiveness. The choice of metrics aligns with the specific goals and nature of the operations, ensuring that they can adapt and improve their performance according to their unique requirements. Okay. So we also have to look into how to analyze the importance and effectiveness of operational management enhanced organization. Now, we have to set the stage by highlighting the critical role of operations management in organizational success. Okay. We need to introduce the focus of this analysis on the importance and the effectiveness of operations management in enhancing organizational performance. Okay. In enhancing organizational performance, we have to introduce the focus of this analysis on the importance and effectiveness. Okay. Do you have any?
No question.
Are you sure no questions at all?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So what have you learned so far? Kurt, what have you learned?
Sorry,
What have you learned so far? I mean, with what we've gone through, what can you remember so far, please?
on ways on how to improve businesses and how to keep an organization running.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Let me continue.
Mm.
So we are going to look at the efficiency and cost optimization. Efficiency and cost optimization. We have to identify and discuss how operation management plays a pivotal role, which we know in in optimization processes, reducing waste and controlling operational costs. Then analyze how this efficiency translates to enhance financial performance and profitability. Analyze how this efficiency translates to enhanced financial performance and profitability. Very, very important. Okay. Quality measurement, quality management, and customer satisfaction. Examine the impact of quality management through operations in meeting or exceeding customer expectations. 17-2021. So what may be the quality management through operations, meetings, what may be the impact of quality management? Okay, what may be when you have a proper quality management policy in place or pragmatic steps have been taken? How does it meet or exceed the customer's expectations? Provide examples of how organizations have achieved higher customer satisfaction and loyalty through effective operation management. Kurt, what's your take on that? If example of how organizations have achieved higher customer satisfaction and loyalty through effective operations.
What's my take on how? Sorry, what's my take on what again?
Are we together? So we can take Uber. Are you there?
Yes, you can hear me.
We can take Uber. We realize that if we take Uber, example is Uber. You know Uber, just after you end your ride, there's always what you have some feedback to know how you rate your driver, isn't it?
Yes.
There's always they want to know because they will ask you whether 5-star, 3-star, and also the driver, they ask him how you rate the customer. So if you look at the feedback, that is, it always help Uber to advance. Okay, because just after every ride, you need to, give a feedback about the driver and whether he was a 5-star driver or 3-star driver. In fact, when you book, when the driver is about to pick you up, it tells you who the driver is, whether the driver, you can see the driver is a 5-star driver or a 3-star driver. Okay, and this helps in building loyalty through effective operations. Okay, let's look at strategic alignment. Analyze the importance of aligning operations with the organization's strategic objective. Every organization has some strategic goals. Okay, the general visions may be there, but what may be the organizational strategic objective, strategic goals in meeting the operational needs? Okay, so you should be able to the importance of aligning operation with the organizational strategic objective, the goals, the objectives, what they seek to do. Your operations must fit into that. Okay, and then discuss how strategic alignment contributes to improved overall performance, market positioning, and competitive advantage. Okay, your strategic alignment should contribute to the improved overall performance of the organization, having had that in place and position in the place that you have a demand, a position area that you can have clear competitive advantage over your competitors. Okay, innovation and adaptability. You need to innovate. Discuss how operation management fosters innovation and adaptability in responding to changing customer demands and market conditions. Benz and L, very, very important. 2019. You need to evolve. You need to innovate every now and then. You cannot be stagnant in one way of doing things. There should be changes. Even in marriage, there should be changes. In the church, there must be changes. The organization must have changes. You cannot do things the same old way every now and then. So discuss how operation management fosters innovation and adapt to responding changing customer demands and market conditions. Okay. Barnes and All 2019. Okay. Highlight case studies illustrating organizations that have trialed by staying agile through effective operations management. Highlight case studies illustration organizations have tried by staying agile. Let me say agile, then you want to remain, agile to the same IT through effective operations management. Okay, some have done Scrum Master, Agile, management system that helps, to thrive in that. Then supply chain management and reliability. Examine the significance of supply chain management within operations and its role in ensuring reliability and timely delivery. Jacob Chase, 2018. Discuss the impact of effective supply chain management on customer satisfaction and cost reduction. Okay. Discuss the impact of supply chain management on customer satisfaction and cost reduction. Very, very, very important. And cost reduction. Okay. When there's effective customer management system in place, there's surely going to be a cost reduction because the supply chain will look entirely, the cost deliverables from the place of raw manufacturing to the place of final delivery. Very important. Okay. All right. Then we have risk mitigation and compliance. Analyze how operation management can effectively mitigate risks, ensure compliance with regulations, and protect organizational integrity. Collier Enhanced 2020. Provide real-world examples of organizations that have successfully navigated compliance challenges through sound operation management. Okay, mitigation. You have to make sure that you manage mitigation in terms of compliance and regulations. Anything that may have some risks against you, you have something in place to mitigate them. Okay, and you can refer from Collier and Evans 2022. It may be legal, it may be branding, it may be cultural issues, it may be where you operating issues, it may be even the land that you sit on, it may be council issues. These are things that you have to have some kind of risk management policy or contingency plans available to, have mitigation in place. Okay, very important. So provide real-world example organization that have successfully navigated compliance challenges. Uber does the same thing. Now Uber is in Ghana, Uber is in Africa, Uber is in UK, it's a US company. They make sure that they meet the local country regulatory, they meet them. Very important. Employee engagements and productivity. Explore how operations management influences employee engagement, productivity, and job satisfaction. Desley 2019. Discuss the connection between positive work culture fostered by effective operation management and improved performance. Job satisfaction is very key. Employees should be very happy where they work. So there should be regular engagement, regular workshops to sort of get feedbacks from employee, okay, to create an enabling environment for employee so that they are all happy. Incentives that would make the employee happy, okay. That would factor in production and also will make job satisfaction very key. Desla 2019. So discuss the connection between positive workplace culture fostered by effective operation management and improved performance. Technology in integration. Examine the role of technology in operations management, including automation, data analytics, decision support systems. Okay, very, very important. Very, very important. And Loudon 2019. Technology, we all know, plays a major role, but its integration, okay, either through data analysis or whether through automation or decision support systems. What role do they play? Examine what role did they play in the company structure. We have to then analyze how this technology integration enhances process efficiency and overall organizational performance. Continuous improvement. Discuss the importance of continuous improvement methodologies like Six Sigma and lean operations. Very important. Six Sigma, I earlier mentioned that to you. Six Sigma looks at quality aspect of the practical quality aspect of organization. How to improve continuous improvement of quality within organization. So Six Sigma is a tool, an innovative tool that is used in determining this continuous improvement methodologies. Okay, lean in operation. Lean operation looks into how lean, your waste products, you don't have a lot of product going waste. You try to minimize the waste. Okay, so lean operations, when you say lean operations, you are leaning. You don't want your products to go waste. You have to make sure that your your quality control system is in place, so that you can monitor along the line. When the product has been manufactured, you try to minimize waste. Okay, all right. Provide examples of organization that reaped the benefit of culture continuous improvement. Provide example. And you can get this from Vos and all 2014. It should be your student model. Okay. So quality, most organizations may their waste product, they may even turn into something else. Instead of turning them away, they may turn the waste product into something. So you are becoming a lean organization. You are not, your waste product are not massive, but you are becoming lean so that your waste product do not become massive. You lean them, okay? Lean, thinner. You don't have massive waste products, okay? All right. In conclusion, we've looked into the takeaways from analysis, emphasizes the critical role of organization management in enhancing organizational performance. Emphasize the multifaceted nature of operation management and its impact on various aspects of organizations. Okay, there are so many multifaceted, so to speak, nature of operation management and its impact on various aspects of the organization. Okay, references. You have lots of references from your model, lots of them. Okay. Stevenson, W. Slack, and Brandon, Jones, and Justin, Voss, CA, all this you can look into. So bring our lectures to an end today. Do you have anything to say at all? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Do you have anything to say at all?
No, I'm good, I'm good.
Are you sure? Nothing at all.
Yes, I'm good. Yes.
So what can you remember then? If you have nothing to say, what can you remember for today's lectures?
Sorry?
What can you remember in today's lectures then?
That companies should take customer feedback seriously to improve in their customer relations and also in the improve their customer relationships with the company, they increase customer loyalty, and also remember to use eco-friendly materials to satisfy customers' needs.
Is that all?
Mhm.
Is that all you can remember?
And there's one thing. Like,
Okay, well done. You've done well. Well done. So I mentioned also ISO 14001, which is on the chat platform, okay? Which is an environmental. Yes, you need to read about them, which is very important. Those are international standardized organization framework that every company that works within environmental sort of, and as mentioned, Six Sigma, you need to read about them, eh? Six Sigma, let me type it. Very, very important is a continuous quality management to Six Sigma. Okay? It's a continuous quality to, okay, I've just sent them to you. Six Sigma, okay? When you meet more, we read about it. What is Six Sigma? And lean operations, okay? Lean operations. What is lean operations? Lean operations. What are lean operations? Read about them when you come next week. Lean operations. In lean operations, you are trying to reduce your waste, okay?
Okay.
Lean operations. Read about them. So Six Sigma. Tomorrow when we meet, you explain to me what you read about them, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, yes. Lean operations. Very, very important.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Yes.
we also spoke about the feedback surveys that we get from the customers. Very, very important. Okay. It helps to build the organization. And I said an example that Uber, if you look at Uber, when you are booking a rider, oftentimes you see the the rider's details. It will tell you the rider is a 5-star rider or a 3-star rider and all that. And having ended your trip as well, you have the right, most time you have a feedback, how you rate the driver or how the driver rates you. These are all things that helps in building the organization, okay, to feedback and that's why Uber is doing so well, and better than most of the taxi organizations. We also mentioned that they operate globally, but they comply because every country has its compliance regulatory and frameworks, and you need to meet those frameworks. You need to meet those frameworks. You have to ensure that you comply with the frameworks and comply with the regulatory framework for every country. Some may be cultural, some may be legal frameworks that you need to meet. We also mentioned about cultural, didn't we? There may be cultural differences and sometimes employers, organization may need to employ some local managers or local directors within the locality to help navigate this um what we call um cultural differences that or challenges that the organizations may face. Okay, so these are things. We also spoke about what mitigation factors. Okay, risk mitigation. Every organization will have some risk, but then you need to have a risk contingency plan in place, in that these plans or these contingency plans would be the shield to fall on, when an unforeseen, okay, risk, the word risk is something uncertainty, an unforeseen likely to occur. Anything likelihood to occur is a risk. And you need to have a plan in place to mitigate this risk should they occur. So these are things that we need to look into as learners and as staffs. Okay, and we spoke about loyalty, okay, customer satisfaction or job satisfaction, which stems from your internal job satisfaction for your employees and the external one for your customers. When your employees are happy, when you have incentives for your employee, when you have regular employee engagements, it feed into the overall performance of the organizations and therefore also affects costs because it then transfers to the employee. Because they are happy, the employee come to work on time, they work with joy, they meet up with delivering time because they're having good incentives and good internal job satisfaction in place, which then transfers into their customer. All right? Okay. See you tomorrow then. Okay. See you tomorrow then. Thank you. Thank you.